Hello, everybody. So good to see you guys. Merry Christmas Eve. So lovely to see everybody. Oh my gosh, just taking in all these beautiful faces. What a gift. Such a gift. Kathy, good to see you again. Hope
Thank you. I didn't know we were meeting on Monday. Or I would have been there. So
no
missed
worries.
missed you. I did do the replay.
Good, good.
Yeah. Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, thank you. And that's the whole point in the Awareness Academy is people show up when they can, and if you
Mhm.
can't, it's recorded. So that's one
I know.
things. So, well, today we're just going to go into a specific section in the Course in Miracles. And that section is, let's see, we're already recording. So this is another episode of Ascension with a Course in Miracles. Today is 227. And last week, 225 and 226, we had started in a section about specialness, but today we're going to skip to one very specific section in A Course in Miracles. It's in the text, and the title of this section is Christmas as the end of sacrifice. Being Christmas time, I thought, well, how perfect. Let's talk about what the Course wants us to really understand about Christmas. Another way of looking at this beautiful time of year where we get to come together and experience what throughout, you know, I don't know how long this has been going on. Christmas itself is a relatively new thing. This hasn't been going on forever. There's nothing in the Bible that says Jesus was born in Christmas time, but we have come to associate Christmas as the birth of Christ. However, as I have studied Christmas in Christ and Jesus and his time as a human, he was not born in December. Things appear to peg him to having been born more in the fall. Exactly when, I'm not sure. But what was associated with Christmas were the pagan um, celebrations of the winter solstice, the bringing in of the new. So when we're celebrating the moving from the birth of Christ to the new year that we're moving into, it's a time of celebrating the new. So I'm going to suggest that you maybe do a little research around what the meaning of this time is for you, because when I began to recognize that Christmas time was really not this religious holiday as it had been portrayed to me, that there's a deeper meaning to it. It's a time of recognizing the birth of the new year, the new season, the now there's so many things that we get to celebrate that are new. We're moving away from old systems. We're moving away from old programming. We're moving into a space of being open to receive that which is new to most of humanity. Course in Miracles is just one of the ways that we are tapping into a whole new way, not only of being, because Course in Miracles is really truly channeled by Jesus, given to us as a gift that gives us exactly what Jesus came to teach, exactly what he was teaching during the times that he was walking upon this plane. But so much of his teachings got wrapped up in religion and packaged in this bow, in this wrapping, in this pretty bow, that has left us very little of the true essence of what he wanted each and every one of us to receive. So, A Course in Miracles is a gift to us directly from Jesus of what it is to be one who walks the path that he walked, to remember the truth of who we are, that each and every one of us is the second coming of the Christ, because each and every one of us has the Christ within. That is what is awakening, the remembering of who we really are, the truth of who we are. So that is great cause for celebrating the new. So at this Christmas time, to remember that not only are we the light of the world, we came here deliberately, we incarnated, yes, we incarnated to go through the game of separation, to feel that we're separate from one another. We have to address what the ego has done. But what we are celebrating, the time of newness, is that instead of letting the ego run the show, we are making a decision to take responsibility for what we really are. What were we before we had an ego that went on a journey of separation? What are we truly as God created us? Well, we are pure light. We are pure consciousness, pure intelligence, pure love. So, this is a time to make a decision to give ourselves the gift of truth, to give ourselves the gift. Actually, it's not so much to give ourselves the gift, but it's for us to give ourselves the opportunity to accept the gift that was already given to us. And this section just goes into that. So let me just, the last thing I'm going to say about this time of year is that because we have been listening to the ego mind for thousands upon thousands of years, we have gotten into the commercialization of Christmas. We have gotten into who spends more and comparing and contrasting. And you gave me this, you didn't give me that. I asked for this, I didn't get that, or you didn't give me anything, or whatever it is. I got left out of the party. I didn't, you gave me this little gift and you gave her the bigger gift, or whatever it is. Ego loves to bitch and moan and complain. Ego's never satisfied. And the reason ego can never be satisfied is because it's always chasing. So if it's always chasing, it cannot get anywhere. So when you're onto the ego and you know its games and its trickeries, don't get into that game of comparing and confusion and blaming. All of that is what we're leaving behind. That is what we're becoming aware we no longer want. Not that we're going to get rid of the ego, because if we're having the game of separation, there is an ego there. But what we're learning to do is to understand what the ego does and what it costs us to listen to that voice. By contrasting with when we listen to the voice of the Holy Spirit, when we listen to the voice for God, the voice for love, the voice for peace, the voice for joy, what do we gain by doing that? And when you become really clear that listening to the ego is always going to lead to some level of confusion, anxiety, suffering, that's what it does. Listening to the voice for God leads to peace, to joy, to expansion, to connection. The choice is very clear. Why would you choose suffering when you could have peace instead? Well, the only reason we choose suffering is because we have been programmed into believing that that is normal. And you know what? It has become normal, but it is not natural. This is why we are giving ourselves permission to receive the gift that was already given to us. What is natural is that we acknowledge who we really are. What is natural is that we operate from a space of recognizing the light within, the truth of who we are as God created us. That requires that we go on a journey to question all of our beliefs about God, all of our beliefs about ourselves, about humanity, about everything, about love. We are so misguided on our understanding of love. The love that the ego teaches about it's a love that it's a tit for tat. I do this for you, you do that for me. I behave, then you treat me nice. I do whatever for you, then you do something else for me. Oh, you don't love me? Well, then I don't love you either. You hurt me, then I'm going to hurt you. It's always competitive, and there's always going to be a winner and a loser. A few times we will remain in a place of what appears to be both winning. Sometimes, a couple can stay married for a long time and it seems like, they're happy. But if you really get into the nitty gritty of the days, how do they talk to one another? Is there kindness? Is there gentleness? Well, you do this for me, then I'll do that for you. And you didn't do this. You move that. You disrespected me because you didn't put this where I expected, or you didn't show up at the time that I thought that I told you to show up. There's so much unlove inside of what we have come to accept as normal, happy relationships. But there is so much more that is available when we open ourselves up to the teachings of the Master Jesus, who has given us this information utilizing channels, because this information comes to us not only through this book but through other people that channel him currently right now. I've got my own guidance that I received that has absolutely transformed my life. Everybody has access to that. Why? Because all minds are joined. But for us to receive that information, you have to be prepared to recognize that it is very different than what the world teaches. So many things to sift and to sort. So one quick little thing, we there will not be an Ascension with A Course in Miracles next week. That is New Year's Day. I may be going on a quick little trip, so it just kind of worked out that it's a holiday and we won't get together then. But we're going to address New Year's Eve in this same section too. So again, we are inside A Course in Miracles. I love this book. These teachings are amazing. Thank you, Jesus, for this. Best Christmas gift that keeps on giving. I started reading it in December 2011, and I haven't stopped since. It's absolutely amazing. All right, so here we are. Christmas as the end of sacrifice. This is inside of chapter 15, the Holy Instant. And this is on page 327 if we happen to have the same edition. So it's kind of a long reading, and I'll break it up. There are some sections I'm going to focus on more, others I won't so much, but it didn't feel right to leave anything out. So first paragraph, fear not to recognize the whole idea of sacrifice as solely of your making, and seek not safety by attempting to protect yourself from where it is not. So we have created sacrifice. We have created the idea that I lose, or I didn't win, or I didn't get, and poor me, this was taken from me, somebody left me, the job fired me, the government abandoned me, they didn't approve my loan, they didn't do this. We're constantly operating in this realm of sacrifice, but fear not to recognize the whole idea of sacrifice as solely your making. And you would say, well, why are we going to talk about this at Christmas time? Because this is a time for you to accept the gift that was already given to you. You do not have to experience sacrifice. You do not have to experience suffering. That is completely made up by the ego. Now, as a planet, have we collectively agreed that sacrifice is normal, that wars are normal, and there's natural sacrifices, and there are weather disruptions, and people sacrifice, their homes. All of that has been made up by humanity, and we have agreed to playing that game. And this is part of the course, is to bring us into the place of responsibility, sort out what did God really give us and what have we made up. Sacrifice, we made it up. And we've done a great job for thousands of years of blaming somebody to take something from us so that we would never discover that we are responsible for this game. So seek not safety by attempting to protect yourself from where it is not. Your brothers and your father have become very fearful to you, and you would bargain with them for a special relationship in which you think you see some scraps of safety. We have decided, I like this person, I like that person, I like this politician, I like this sibling. I got three sisters. I got my favorite, and I've got my next to favorite, and my last in favorite, meaning don't like her at all. This is just the way that it is. But this is the way I viewed her from when I was a child. However, as an adult, I have come to realize she plays a very important role in my life. She provides an incredible contrast that is necessary to me understanding who I am. So we do a wonderful job of becoming fearful of our brothers and sisters, of our Father, our Creator, because we have been taught that God is on a cloud somewhere, and like Santa Claus, Maybe it is going to think that we are naughty, and for Christmas, we're going to get a lump of coal. So we have to move past all of these childish understandings that we have and be willing to mature ourselves to looking at things from a very different perspective. Sentence five, do not try longer to keep apart your thoughts and the thought, capital T thought, that has been given you. We know the truth, it's already within us. Again, this is why we're not here to receive a gift. We are here to accept the one that has always been there. But we couldn't be aware of it because we were so busy and distracted with all of the egoic things that create barriers between us and a quiet mind that can receive what is already given. Sentence six, when they are brought together and perceived where they are, the choice between them is nothing more than a gentle awakening and as simple as opening your eyes to daylight when you have no more need for sleep. The thoughts that we have as an individual and the thought that God has as the source of all that is, those two need to come together. They meet within us. This beautiful, as it describes here, this gentle awakening is a recognition that at some point in our journey, we are all going to come to that place where we really sincerely say, God, I don't know what anything is for. Father, I want to know your way, your will, not mine. And then we go quiet. When we have done enough work that we understand the monkey mind of the eagle, and we stop all of the, please give me, why did you do this? Why, blah, 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 blah. I changed this, give me that, bring me whatever. When we stop all of that begging God to give us whatever it is that we think we need to have so that we get to be happy and safe and protected, when we stop that, which is very immature, but it's because humanity has been kept at a very low level of maturity. When we believe that our happiness and our safety comes from the outside, we're very immature. It's no different than a little child that needs mommy and daddy something outside to keep us safe and protected. So when we move past that and we move to the place that my own thought, a sincere desire, Father, I want to know you. And even if you don't say, Father, God, I want to know you. Even if you don't say, God, truth, I want to know you. And you sincerely sit quietly, you will feel the answer because the thoughts of God have never left us, just as we have never left the mind of God. It's in this holographic place where we are all connected, we are all one. But there has to be a willingness to come inside. And here's what I think is part of the trick. We don't have much self-worth. When we're chasing something outside of us, we don't have a whole lot of self-worth. We're looking for the outside to help make us somebody. But self-worth means I I deserve to feel the truth. I deserve to know it. I deserve to experience it. I deserve peace. I deserve love. As a matter of fact, I'm entitled to it. God said it created me in its image, and it is love. When you come to know that that is what God is, then you let yourself receive that truth. And when you make that decision, I deserve to know the truth, and you maturely stay quiet. God, show me the way. You are going to be guided. You are going to be led. You're going to have the inspiration. It is going to happen. It is just as guaranteed as air is going to come into you when you inhale. It is just as guaranteed that we're going to experience the light of God within us, the truth of God within us, but we have to be willing to give ourselves that recognition where you decide, I am not going to be chasing the outside anymore. I want to come to know what is already within me. Paragraph 2, and this is beautiful. The sign of Christmas is a star, a light in darkness. See it not outside yourself, but shining in the heaven within, and accept it as the sign the time of Christ has come. Because when we can sit and accept that that light what God is, what source is, again, what doesn't matter what you call it, is already within you. That gentle awakening is the recognition that you are finally accepting that everything that is perfect, good, holy, worthy of anything in this world is already in you. Christmas, the sign of Christmas is a star, a light in the darkness. See it not outside of yourself. Stop chasing those things out there. Not that there's anything wrong with having those things, but a mind that thinks it needs those things is going to suffer because those things will get old, they'll break, they'll go away, they'll get lost, they'll get, buried, they'll lose value, whatever it is. They will lead to suffering. But the light that we are talking about here is already within. We're making a decision that that's more important than anything else. That is the time of the Christ that has come. You have come to accept the light in you. You are accepting that you are the Christ. We've been told about Christ coming, the second coming of the Christ for years. Oh, one day, Jesus is going to show up and save us. Again, it's on somebody else to make us feel safe and happy and secure. This is a time of responsibility. This is the greatest gift we can give ourselves right now, to recognize that the time of the Christ is when we accept the light that is within us. That becomes the second coming. That is us accepting, yes, I am the light of God. I am the Christ. Jesus was Jesus. And we call him the Christ because he accepted the light that was in him. So in essence, right here, we have Richard the Christ. We have Kathy the Christ, Janie the Christ. Every one of us is really, truly the Christ, but we have to understand what it is that we're accepting when we come to this, because it comes with responsibility to shine that light, to be a beacon of the truth, to be an example. And it says, sentence number 3, he comes demanding nothing, no sacrifice of any kind. Of anyone is asked by him. In his presence, the whole idea of sacrifice loses all meaning. Ego is all about sacrifice. Truth is not. For he is host to God. And you need but invite him in, who is there already, by recognizing that his host is one, and no thought alien to his oneness can abide with him there. Nothing alien to what is love, nothing other than what is truth, what is light, can abide inside of you. We need to recognize it is already there. Religion, governments, the way that we've been indoctrinated has always deliberately attempted to keep us from knowing the power that is within us. And this is the kind of things that we have to wake up and mature and realize that we have been played. But we have been played because we wanted to come in and play this game. So there's nobody to blame out there. They played us because we chose to come in and forget who we are so that somebody else could tell us what to do. Don't blame them. Forgive yourself for forgetting that that's what you did, and then begin to accept who you are. And as you accept who you are, you pop, the light expands in you. You pop over into a different frequency, more connect, that operate in that vibration, that recognize the truth of who we are, that are experiencing themselves as the second coming of the Christ. That is a very humble group. That is a very joyful group. That is a very patient, loving, caring group. We are finding one another. But we can't find one another because that frequency doesn't go out until you go inside and accept that it is already within. So as we accept that it is within, it automatically extends. Sentence 8 says, love must be total to give him welcome, for the presence of holiness creates the holiness that surrounds it. We have to create the holiness that surrounds the holiness that is inside of us, because we have to prepare the altar. We have to be the ones who make the conscious decision to acknowledge that I am the host. In me is the altar of light. In me is the truth of God. I am the host. So what Course in Miracles does is it helps train our mind so that we can mature our mind. We got to move out of the immature ways. I don't care how old you are. Yeah, I don't care if you've been here 2,000 lifetimes. When we are operating as the ego is our boss, we are immature. We are still using those training wheels. And you can be 80 years old using the training wheels. It's okay. But we need to mature, meaning we need to come inside. We need to realize, we need to go through the process of accepting that I played the game. I incarnated to play the game of separation. Okay, check, done, did it. Now, what am I going to do? Now, if I want to move to another level, if I want to move to another frequency, I must stop playing that old game. You can only go so far with training wheels. They're helpful and they're beautiful, but at some point they become what slows you down. And again, it's not that this is a race, but if you want to experience love, joy, and peace, why delay that? The course is really clear. There's no need to delay what has already been given to you. Why delay that there is light and that there's joy and that there's peace, there's knowledge, there's creativity in you? Why would anybody want to delay that? The reason we delay that is because we get all spiritualized. Oh, well, I'm not trying to rush this. Let me go enjoy more of my external things. Let me go get more stuff put in my closet. Let me go buy more shoes. Let me add more to my stocks. Let me whatever. Have fun. Have fun with it. But don't confuse what the ego is attempting to do to continue to keep you thinking that your safety, your joy, your peace is outside of you. Don't confuse going there and gathering more and collecting and attaching to those things with freedom, because it is not. It is bondage. Freedom is coming in here and beginning to cultivate a relationship with the truth of who you are. This is a beautiful journey within, a beautiful journey to understand who you are. The presence of holiness creates the holiness that surrounds it. Once you begin to accept, I am holy and I know it, then you begin to activate this light. It begins to expand because it's so unusual in this world to really know the truth of who we are and operate from that frequency. The sentence number 9 there, which is the last sentence in paragraph 2, no fear can touch the host who cradles God in the time of Christ. No fear can touch the host. You are the host who cradles God in the time of Christ. The time of Christ is the time of us accepting who we really are. The time of Christ is acknowledging you are as God created you. You are the light of the world. You are eternal. You're one with all that is. Any limitations that you impose upon yourself is because you want to experience the limitation. That's okay. Then forgive yourself if you catch yourself limiting yourself and come back and say, you know what, for a second, I forgot about that. I got distracted. It's okay. But when I feel the presence of love, a love that you begin to understand judges nothing, expects nothing. Unlike our holidays, our Christmas, tit for tat, this is a love that gives no matter what and will keep on giving, whether you come to it or not in this lifetime. You got another lifetime. You got another lifetime. You get to do it as many times as you want to. It will always be there waiting for you. For the host is as holy as the perfect innocence which he protects and whose power protects him. The innocence is a recognition. Oh, wow, I've been playing the game of hide and seek. I chose to incarnate. I chose to pretend that I'm separate from God. I chose to incarnate into the 3D world. And I got caught up in the game. And now I'm coming back to my senses and going, I don't want to play that game anymore. But I'm here. I've got a separate body. I feel like I'm a separate person. I want to play a different game. I'm going to up my game. I'm going to level up. And when you begin to level up with God, you begin to understand what God really is. You move out of the indoctrination, you're going to find you're just an innocent child who played a game. You got lost in the illusion, you enjoyed the training wheels, and now it's time for you to say, okay, been there, done that. I'm complete, and to maturely say, okay, time for the next level. And man, this is an amazing level. Paragraph number 3 says, this Christmas, give the Holy Spirit everything that would hurt you. Let yourself be healed completely, that you may join with him in healing, and let us celebrate our release together by releasing everyone with us. Leave nothing behind, for release is total. And when you have accepted it with me meaning with Jesus talking here, you will give it with me. This is the thing that we need to understand. When we make the decision to give the Holy Spirit everything that hurts us, it's like, Holy Spirit, I recognize that this pain, this suffering, everything that I am upset about, I'm worried about, I'm angry about, I'm jealous about, I don't want that anymore. I have made a decision. I am now taking 100% responsibility for how I want to feel. When I think about these things I hurt, when I trust that God created me to be happy and joyful, I don't hurt. Pain or lack of pain and pain. I suffer when I think with the ego. I don't suffer when I think with God. This is why we have to mature and decide, okay, I'm done with this. But again, if you still do it again out of habit, you just forgive yourself. Oops, ooh, I could have had a V8. I forgive myself for forgetting. Simple. It's a very simple process. But you have to decide, is it time for you to accept that you deserve peace and joy? Now, on the way to peace and joy, you're going to have to see everything that you have agreed that part of the indoctrination, part of the programming that caused you suffering, you're going to have to face it. That irritation is an invitation for you to look at your ego's motivation. And once you see that ego's motivation and you're complete with that, then comes, well, what is God's motivation? Well, God wants you to be happy. Okay, then how do I get to be happy? Well, it's a whole different kind of happy. It's a happy without stuff. It's a happy that comes from within. It's a happy that comes from extending the truth of who you are and seeing it in everybody else so that we can celebrate our personal release together with our brothers and sisters. Because once we stop judging them and holding them accountable for our happiness or our joy or our misery, we have released them from that responsibility because we've taken 100% responsibility for how we want to feel. So, leaving nothing behind for release is total. And when you have accepted it with Jesus, you will give it with him. All pain and sacrifice and littleness will disappear in our relationship. Our relationship with Jesus transforms from this person who got crucified 2,000 years ago that we read about in the Bible to recognizing that it's us. He is an example of what all of us have done. We incarnate and have an experience. Some mature quickly and return to God. Some stay immature and keep incarnating to keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. But here we can connect by accepting that we are just like Jesus. That gives us the ability to claim ourselves as a Christ. Christ means I accept that I am as God created me. Humbly, no boasting, just a recognition of a fact. And so is everybody else. Oh my goodness, this is so powerful. Pain will be brought to us and disappear in our presence. And without pain, there can be no sacrifice. And without sacrifice, their love must be. So, yes, you make the commitment to go down this journey. Every irritation is going to be an invitation to see how you used to think. Not to blame yourself, but just to understand it, to make the corrections that are necessary. Because we're going to still be in the world. We're just not going to be of it. When you mature, you're not of it. When you mature, you understand that everybody's playing the game. Either they remember or they don't. There's nobody to blame. There's just simply an acknowledgement. Oh, that one is aware. You can hear what they're saying. And then you use a chart like this, like the map of consciousness. You can understand kind of where their consciousness is. You can use this chart and you can see emotionally what they're experiencing. Don't have to blame anybody. Don't have to shame anybody. Just have to recognize powerful creators having an experience, and you get to love them no matter what. if you have decided that you want to be the Christ. To be the Christ is to open yourself up to incredible powers, incredible attributes, incredible ways of being in this world, but they do not look like anything that the world prizes, because the world is run by the egos primarily. A lot of that is changing, but it's still a lot of ego there. Paragraph 4. You who believe that sacrifice is love must learn that sacrifice is separation from love. Let me say this again. Sacrifice is separation from love. Every single time that you say, "Oh, I've been abandoned and somebody left me and I wasn't picked," you are sacrificing love. You are choosing to say, "You know what? I'm not going to feel I don't want to feel the joy of knowing that I'm whole and complete. I'm going to create a little drama for myself. Right now, I'm going to use that person, that situation, this job, that system to say that that's the reason why I am not loving. I'm going to blame them. I'm going to say they have power over me. Yes, I want to feel what it's like to be disempowered. Yeah, what was that comedian long time ago? Yeah, that's the ticket. I'm going to feel disempowered. And because we are not consciously paying attention to what we're saying, we think somebody actually did that to us. This is why it requires major responsibility to say, no, homie, don't play that. I don't want to suffer anymore. I don't want to continue to operate as if it's okay for others to hurt me. Why would I do that to me? That's when you begin to understand, oh, wait a second, I must not love myself if I'm letting myself be hurt. So what does someone who loves himself do? You take full responsibility for feeling good. If God put only goodness in me, why am I experiencing anything other than that? Why? Because I have been trained, I have been conditioned to believe in this world, this 3D world, where this is what we do here. I'm not blaming anybody. This is what we do. We come in here and we blame others. My mommy blamed me, my daddy blamed my mommy, my grandma blamed my dad, my somebody blamed somebody. Always somebody blaming somebody. And all of that taught us that it was okay to sacrifice love, true love. We had no idea. Sentence 2. For sacrifice brings guilt as surely as love brings peace. Yep, because then you're blaming somebody else and you're going to feel guilty that you did this and then you can't get out of it. Ego keeps you in a loop of suffering. It's very crafty, very crafty. Sentence 3 says, guilt is a condition of sacrifice, as peace is the condition for the awareness of your relationship with God. Peace is the condition for the awareness of your relationship with God. Until we understand what God is, that God is the peace, the intelligence, the joy, the creativity that we're made of. And it's not that we're going to come to the place that we're going to say, oh, I am God. Is that we're going to recognize that God is infinite and we are an expression of it. We have a very important role, just as every piece of the puzzle has an important role. I don't know about you, but it's never fun to come up, spend hours working on a 500-piece puzzle and then there's a missing piece. That missing piece it ruins it all. This is what we are. We are that final piece. We've got to acknowledge that we are as God created us. When we're ready, of course, when we're ready for that level of responsibility, amazing things are going to happen. Peace is a condition. Peace is what you feel when you're no longer at odds with the world. Peace is what happens when you become aware that there already exists a relationship with God. You just did not know about it, mostly because you've been lied to about what God is. Through guilt, you exclude your father and your brothers from yourself. Don't feel bad that this happened. Just let's move on. Let's just move on. Through peace, you invite them back, realizing that they are where your invitation bids them. Everybody that you invite in through your willingness to love them and respect them as they are, creates those beautiful relationships. Whether they know it or not is irrelevant. It's a relationship that you extend. You are willing to open the door to everybody. Sentence 6, what you exclude from yourself seems fearful, for you endow it with fear and try to cast it out. Though it is a part of you. This is why we got to stop casting out those people, those situations, and begin to embrace them with compassion. Where are they on their journey? What experience are they having? Course in Miracles keeps it simple. They're either extending love, they're being the presence of love, they know what they are, and they're being love, or they're calling for love because they don't remember who they are. And that is requiring those of us who know that we're all playing a game of hide and seek. Some are hiding and behind sacrifice and blocking love. Some are just extending love, and they're not playing the game of sacrifice. Once you keep it that simple, then you realize everybody is a child of God. They remember or they don't, period. If they remember, we're all on different levels of remembering, but that doesn't matter. If you just stick with the is it love or a call for love, things get so much easier. So sentence 7, who can perceive part of himself as loathsome and live within himself in peace? You cannot loathe yourself. You cannot think you're less and be at peace. It's not possible. The ego will drive you crazy. I'm not good enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not smart enough. My boobs are not big enough. I'm not, I don't have as much in my bank account. I'm not firm enough. I'm not this enough. The ego will keep you insane because it feeds off of that. The ego doesn't get any sustenance from peace. As a matter of fact, if you're in peace, ego starving. And who can try to resolve the conflict of heaven and hell in him by casting heaven out and giving it the attributes of hell without experiencing himself as incomplete and lonely? I'm not going to get into all of that. There's way many other areas that speak about that. But basically, if you look at everything as heaven or hell, it's the same thing as God or ego. It's the same thing as love or fear. It's the same thing as peace or war. It doesn't matter. What we call heaven is within. The kingdom of heaven is within. We've got to come inside and come discover what has always been waiting for us. The gift was already given. We just haven't unwrapped it because we're too busy, looking for something else. Paragraph 5, as long as you perceive the body as your reality, so long will you perceive yourself as lonely and deprived because you will think you're a separate person. Instead of being an individuated aspect of God expressing itself like that one little piece of the puzzle, you will think, oh, I'm just a little piece and my curves go this way and I'm indented and blah, 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 blah. The ego can find anything to bitch about so that it can feed itself with suffering. Sentence 2, and so long will you perceive yourself as a victim of sacrifice, justified in sacrificing others. For who could thrust heaven and its creator aside without a sense of sacrifice and loss? How can you not have sacrifice and loss when you cast out all that would bring you peace and joy? And who could suffer sacrifice and loss without attempting to restore himself? Yeah, you're constantly trying to make yourself better, seeking and searching and becoming and attempting. Yet, how could you accomplish this yourself when the basis of your attempts is the belief in the reality of the deprivation? God never deprived us. We got conditioned to believe that there's nothing in here worth seeking. We got conditioned into believe that everything is out there in the job, in our education, in who we marry, and what we get, and the house that we have. Everything was taught to us to go out there and become somebody. We were not taught you are perfect because God created you. So we got a lot of undoing to do here. Deprivation breeds attack, being the belief that attack is justified. Oh, I don't have it, so I got to go attack somebody to get it. And as long as you would retain the deprivation, attack becomes salvation and sacrifice becomes love. Well, I just won't be, I won't ask for much because I love you and I don't want to burden the family asking for too much. I'm going to sacrifice myself and we think that that's love. No, that's not. Not at all. Love is I'm accepting who I am as God created me. That is the beginning of love. Paragraph 6. So it is that in all your seeking for love, you seek for sacrifice and find it, yet you find not love. It is impossible to deny what love is and still recognize it because we don't understand what love is. We can't recognize it. We think love is, that negotiable thing that we have become conditioned to. So the meaning of love lies in what you have cast aside yourself, and it has no meaning apart from you. It is what you prefer to keep that has no meaning, while all that you would keep away holds all the meaning of the universe and holds the universe together in its meaning. Unless the universe were joined in you, it would be apart from God. And to be without Him is to be without meaning. We have to totally rewire our brain, rewire our thinking, and begin to accept how important we are, what an important piece in the whole universe we are. But of course, this comes when we have to, already done enough work that the ego is not taking all the credit. Because the ego that thinks, oh, yes, I am God, I'm in charge, I'm the chosen, I'm blah, 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 blah. Well, that just creates more suffering, more separation, all the wars. We're better than you are, so we're going to bomb you. That's not love. None of that is love. So we've got to come to know the meaning of God so that we can create a relationship with that which is the source of all meaning. Paragraph 7. In the holy instant, that means the moment when we recognize truth, in that holy instant, it just takes one instance, the condition of love is met, for minds are joined without the body's interference. And where there is communication, there is peace. Do you know that's why we cannot have peace? Because we don't really communicate. We're telling people what we want them to know, but we're not communicating. Communicating requires listening, listening to the call for love. But the ego is so quick to use communication as, in censoring, and I'm not going to let you say what you said because it hurts my feelings. This world right now is so insane because we have become so sensitized. They're going to hurt my feelings. Nobody can hurt our feelings. We're all in charge of our own feelings. But because we are so immature, we're always needing to have somebody else. You have to censor what you say. You have to censor what you say. We're only going to say it this way. We're only going to be politically correct. All to make us all think that we're somehow, idiots, that we can't handle things. Become so sensitized because, oh, you're white. You poor person. What terrible situation that you've grown up white, or what terrible situation you've grown up black. It's like you're labeled from the moment you're born. Oh, you're a girl, you're a boy, you're trans, oh, you poor thing. We're talking to holiness, to the perfection of each being, letting them know that they're not perfect. No wonder we have a world filled with mamby-pamby people. Everybody's feelings are so, it's crazy. We are creators, created to create, to live eternally. We're not weak. We are not, there's nothing about us that can be affected unless we decide to believe those stories. Sentence 2 in paragraph 7, the Prince of Peace was born to reestablish the condition of love by teaching that communication remains unbroken even if the body is destroyed, provided that you see not the body as a necessary means of communication. We have been conditioned to believe that we need a body to communicate. That is not true. When we begin to open communication with God and we begin to tap into that which is non-physical, we begin to realize that we're all connected, that everything is connected. And the reason that we need to move to that place of realizing our connection is so that we can begin to start communicating in a whole different way, to really communicate about what we care about, to really connect where we are the same. But we have been conveniently divided by so many different things that we have to start sorting out all of those things that create suffering and move to that where are we the same? And have those very honest conversations about where are we the same? And then we're going to find the Christ in everybody else. That's what's so beautiful about this work. But you got to get beyond what the ego tells us and scares us with. Sentence number 3 says, and if you understand this lesson, if you understand this lesson, you will realize that to sacrifice the body is to sacrifice nothing. And communication, which must be of the mind, cannot be sacrificed. We got to open up to the fact that we have connection with one another, always have, always will be connected because we will always be one. We all come from the same substance that God is made of. And we're all expressions of God, appearing different for the purpose of individuation, but all the same because we are one. Ego doesn't like that. Ego doesn't like that at all. So we got to get beyond that. That's why we have to mature. We've got to grow up and begin to understand why this is all worthwhile. Sentence 4 says, where then is sacrifice? This is Jesus speaking, the lesson I was born to teach and still would teach to all my brothers through A Course in Miracles, through so many different channels, is that sacrifice is nowhere and love is everywhere. Love your neighbors as yourself. So simple. But we don't do that. Why do we not do that? Because the mind has been filled with things that create separation, that create competition, that create so much suffering. So we've got to go through the process of taking an inventory. What are the thoughts that I have? They lead to this feeling. What are the thoughts that lead to this feeling? And then begin to choose. Do I want peace or war? Do I want love or fear? Do I want truth or illusion? And little by little, we make that choice over and over again, one holy instant at a time, one holy instant at a time. And maybe you do that 10 times a day, and then maybe you do that for 3 weeks, 3 days out of the week, and then maybe you do that a couple of weeks out of the month. Little by little, we begin to practice it. It begins to get normal. It begins to feel good. It becomes natural. And before you know it, you've been operating as who you really are, not only a child of God, but the Christ. You become the Christ. You accept the truth of who you are. Now you have unwrapped the best present ever. Took all that wrapping that covered up the truth of who you are. Now your light gets to shine. So, so amazing. Again, sacrifice is nowhere and love is everywhere. For communication embraces everything, and in the peace, it reestablishes love comes of itself. We got to let love just be what love is. Paragraph 8, let no despair darken the joy of Christmas, for the time of Christ is meaningless apart from joy. One of my favorite lines in the whole Course in Miracles. Being the Christ is meaningless if you are not joyful. Joy is the condition of accepting that you are as God created you. You're going to be joyful. You're going to be so happy. No more worries. What would there be to worry about when you have access through communication to the creative source of all that is? So we're learning to open that avenue of guidance. Sentence 2, let us join in celebrating peace by demanding no sacrifice from anyone. For so you offer me the love I offer you. Jesus has been loving us all this time, just doing everything that he can to connect with us, to let us know, to guide us, incarnation after incarnation back to the truth of who we are. So demand no sacrifice of anyone. Watch this Christmas time when somebody gives you a gift that you didn't like. Watch if you're condemning them, or you got them something and they didn't get you anything. Or you find out so and so got something nicer than you. Watch where the ego is quick to sacrifice your peace and your joy by finding somebody to blame, somebody to point the guilt. You're going to be guilty. You made me suffer. And remember, if you're suffering, if you're in pain, if you feel wounded, it's self-inflicted. Nobody can hurt our feelings. Nobody can. Our feelings are hurt because we choose not to protect them. We choose not to stand for the peace, the joy that is our birthright. And when we decide to play the game of, oh, you know what, I'm just not going to be happy, it's because you're choosing not to be happy. This work requires an incredible amount of responsibility, an incredible amount of maturity, because you got to become fully responsible for what goes on inside of you. You have to be your own parent. You have to mature yourself. You have to parent yourself. Heal your wounds. Go into childhood and look at all the ways that you got conditioned to believe things that are not true and reclaim them. Not, oh, they took it away. They made me, miserable. No, I'm happy, or happiness is my birthright. I'm going to reclaim it. I'm going to stop blaming other people. I'm going to take responsibility for what is already mine. Sentence three. What can be more joyous than to perceive what we to hold on. Sentence three. What can be more joyful than to perceive we are deprived of nothing? We have everything that we could possibly need when you come to learn what to value. When you value peace, joy, happiness, creativity, access to God, when you value all of that, you lack nothing. And that's what creates worlds. That's what creates everything. Nothing in the world creates anything. You can have $1 million, bring it to your house, put it in the floor. Let's see it create a world. Let's see it create let's do something simple. A blade of grass. Can $1 million in your living room create anything? It can't. Of its own, it can't do anything. But you, with your imagination, have set this whole world into motion. It's a lot of power when you come inside and you understand what creates. It's amazing. Sentence four. Such is the message of the time of Christ, which I give you, that you may give it and return it to the Father who gave it to me. You see what's happening here? Jesus says, I love you, and I love you because I love my Father. And because I love my Father, I'm here to help you come back to return to loving your Father. And I'll show you how I came to love my Father. Because once you come to understand how I love me, that I love you, then you will love the Father. I mean, it's all so that we can all come back to loving each other. Why? Because we're all made of the same essence that is expanding all of creation. And in this 3D world, we have been contracted. We have been blocked and we're not expanding. We're not doing things that are in service to the greater good of all. Not much. We're bombing and we're hurting and we're taking from others. We're in conquest, and you can speak your mind, and you can do what you want to do, and you can. I mean, there are places that tell you can't collect rainwater. It's against the law to collect rainwater. I mean, how crazy is that level of control? Well, that's the ego. So the world is contracting until we decide, nope, we're going to expand it. We're not going to do these stupid things that block people, that create rules and laws and regulations and red tape. That's not a gift. That's imprisonment, enslavement. Do it my way or that's it. God didn't create us so that we would do things some other person's way. God created us so that we would extend the kingdom, and that in our happiness, we show everybody else how wonderful it is to just be you. For in the time of Christ, communication is restored, and he joins us in the celebration of his son's creation. In the time of Christ, you accept the gift. The symbol of Christmas is the star. Star is a symbol of light. You are the light. Be the star of Christmas. Be the star. Be the one who accepts that you are the Christ. Everybody can be busy eating whatever they're going to be eating. You can be doing dishes with them. You can be picking up the garbage from Christmas. You can be taking it out to the street if that's what you want to do, and still be the light of the world. Your shine does not diminish because we're doing things in the world. But boy, you'll have peace wherever you go. You'll have an enjoyment. You'll have a sense of recognition. Wow, I got to enjoy all of this. How amazing that I chose to incarnate and be here right now. And I get to be the grandma. I get to be the sister. I get to be the brother. I get to be the father. I get to be the husband. I get to be the child. How fun to play your part fully. Your piece matters. Paragraph 9. God offers things to the holy host who would receive him and let him enter and abide where he would be. God offers us thanks. God is so grateful when we allow God to shine through us. Why? Because it only makes the world a better place. It truly creates the kingdom of heaven. And by your welcome, does he welcome you into himself? And what is contained in you who welcome him is returned to him. Jesus showed us the way. Come inside, come to know God. Course in Miracles is telling us you got to sort out what is the ego because it's what blocks you from knowing who you really are. And when you start seeing all those things that block you from who you really are, what is left? You remove the paper, you remove the wrapping that is the ego. What is left is the gift. God just wants to extend love through you and through me. We are the opportunity for God to be what God is. But we can't be what God is, being love, while we are pretending to be the wrapping paper, the ego, and we're caught up in conditional love that hurts and shames and blames and guilts and does all of those things. You got to decide, is that what you want or this? You have both, but you don't have the awareness of this while you are pretending to be the wrapping paper. And it can be beautiful wrapping paper. It can be the most expensive wrapping paper. As a matter of fact, I've seen many a gifts that were wrapped, the wrapping paper, the bow were way more beautiful, more expensive than the thing that was in there. Maybe even came from the dollar store, but the wrapping paper was $4. It's time for us to stop associating with the wrapping paper. Get away from that, which is shiny and pretty and blah, blah, blah. Come to the essence that is the gift. It's a very innocent, very gentle, very simple joy. That is what we all are. Sentence 3, paragraph 9. And we but celebrate his wholeness as we welcome him into ourselves. God's wholeness, all that God is available to each and every one to experience. But we have to want to have our wholeness. That means we got to stop thinking in such small-mindedness. Those who receive the Father are one with him, being host to him who created them. And by allowing him to enter, the remembrance of the Father enters with him, and with him they remember the only relationship they ever had and ever want to have. You know, it's really amazing. For all of my life, I grew up hearing, oh, you got to have somebody, you got to be with somebody, you can't be alone, you can't be a, a matronly person or whatever, you can't be alone. Something's wrong with you if you're alone. And what I realized on this journey is that I love my time with me so much because I know God in me. I am never alone. If I want inspiration, all I've got to do is sit quiet. Ideas come through. Gratitudes pour from me. There's a joy that is so indescribable, a peace that passes all understanding. I cannot describe the peace that I feel. Nothing is lacking. And yet, I get to participate in this world that has so much. But yet, none of it can ever compare to the wholeness, to the fullness, to the joy that I experience knowing that I am the vessel through which God gets to experience this life as Laina. God is choosing to, in this lifetime, be the peace called Laina. My inner peace comes because I've accepted that I am that one piece of God. Nothing can change that. That's why there's nothing that I've got to get from the outside. It makes it so easy just to be. It's just so beautiful. I don't want anything else because there's nothing else that has value. We're coming to this beautiful section. Paragraph 10 is probably one of the most beautiful things. This is the time in which a new year will soon be born from the time of Christ. You accept who you are. Now all of a sudden, we're about to hit a new year, a new opportunity. When they celebrated the winter solstice, no wonder they had us begin to celebrate Christmas because it makes perfect sense. It's a time when the shortest day of the year or the longest day of the year, depending on where you are, there's a shift coming. I have perfect faith in you, Jesus speaking. He has perfect faith in us to do all that we would accomplish. Nothing will be lacking, and you will make complete and not destroy. Say then to your brother, it's one of the most beautiful things ever. Say, be willing to operate with this saying as how you move about this world. I give you the Holy Spirit as part of myself. Recognize that which is holy in each and every one of them. I know that you will be released unless I want to use you to imprison myself. You are going to be set free by God unless I decide I'm going to use you and blame you. I'm going to hold you responsible for my happiness and imprison me. Because if I imprison you and make you responsible for my happiness or my suffering, then I'm in prison with you because I'm forever going to be thinking about you. I'm forever going to have you in my mind. You're going to have free rent in my head. In the name of my freedom, I choose your release because I recognize that we will be released together. When no one is held responsible for who I am, because I have accepted that I am as God created me. I have accepted the wholeness that comes from realizing the perfection of this piece of the puzzle called Laina. Then why would I want to hold anybody responsible? Because to hold anybody responsible for my happiness or my suffering is to imprison myself to then having to always give them credit. Instead, I prefer to be free. I need nothing from anybody outside of me. I only need to recognize the truth that is within me. That is what accepting that we are the Christ. God, I recognize you created me and you filled me up with the essence of love. You filled me up with light. You filled me up with everything that has any kind of a value. I am willing to accept this gift today. I accept it for me and I accept it for all mankind because when I accept it for me, I release all mankind from being responsible to holding me in an immature way of thinking. Instead, accepting that I am the Christ, I accept humbly and joyfully the incredible responsibility of shining my light, the incredible responsibility, which is so delicious because now that I have had the opportunity to mature myself, I realize this awareness allows me to be part of what co-creates a whole new world. I co-create the happy dream. Now, wherever I go, I am giving of what has been received by me. I'm extending the love, I'm extending the joy, I'm extending my gratitude. And I can see all brothers and sisters as either being there to extend love or they're calling for love. What a fun job that is. I'm just in charge of looking for love, noticing where love is or where love is not so that I can sprinkle a little more love there. How much better can Christmas get than to recognize that we are the bringers of love? The next sentence, sentence number 8. This is so beautiful. So will the year begin in joy and freedom. You accept who you are. Joy and freedom is what you get. There's nothing else to get. There is much to do, and we have been long delayed, dilly-dallying with the ego for thousands of incarnations. Accept the holy instant as this year is born, and take your place, so long left unfulfilled, in the great awakening. This is such a beautiful line to enter into the new year with. Make this year different by making it all the same. We're so used to, oh, we want a different year. No, let's make it all the same. Let's make this the year that we choose to see love everywhere. If it's not there, then we see it as a call for love. Let's treat everybody the same. Let's make it all, let's make it different by choosing to not focus on the outside and focus on the inside. Let's make this a different year by instead of how much can I accumulate, how much love can I give away? Let's make it all the same. Let's just give our love to whoever we happen to cross paths with. How about make this whole year a year that you're going to sit in joy and in peace? Instead of letting your emotions go up and down, make it all the same. Be so committed to being free that you do not use your own mind to give anybody power and say, oh, well, they made me feel this. Oh, I'll be happy when they do that. How about free yourself? Completely free yourself. What goes on inside of you, nobody has power over. Accept that truth. Let this year be totally different because you are acknowledging that you are no different than anybody else. You're the same as everybody else. You're the same as Jesus. You, like him, are the Christ if you decide to accept that you are as God created you. Talk about a very different year by making yourself the same as Jesus. Our part has been long unfulfilled in this great awakening. We're in the middle of a great awakening. The new earth is awaiting those who want to vibe in that frequency. But you only vibe in that frequency if you accept that you are as God created you. You're just accepting everything that is perfect about you. And it doesn't mean perfection according to the world. It's a perfection that says that who you are cannot be defiled in any way, shape, or form. Who you are cannot do anything wrong. Yes, we're dealing with the world and the morals and the things that need to be corrected. But when you come to this level, when you move into this level of consciousness, you're accepting that everything that you could possibly need is already within you. Cannot get any more perfect than that. Our work then is to extend it. That is how you know that you are living in alignment with God. You feel the peace because you're no longer attempting to become anything, to get anything. You already know that you are. You feel the joy of being who you are. You're enjoying everybody else doing what they're doing. And no matter what they're doing, you just get to enjoy. Okay, that one's choosing to do that. Isn't that interesting? And you sit back and recognize the holy creators that everybody get to be. Lots of people are creating in very dark places. They're still God's children creating because we have free will. But here, we get to make this year different by making it all the same. Let's move into this year. In the Awareness Academy, I'm doing a year where we're recognizing that we are being the light in 2026. We're going to take the Course in Miracles and just embody it to the best of our abilities. And if we don't, we miss a week or we miss a day or we miss a month, it's okay. The light is still in you. You're just letting your awareness catch up with you. Sentence 12. And let all your relationships be made holy for you. You can't make anything holy. You just get to accept that they already are. Let God give you the holiness you've always wanted just by accepting it. This is our will within us. We really want it to be that easy. Because in truth, we are this like this little child inside who just wants Father, Mother, God, just let me have everything that I want. Let Christmas be the time that I get all my wishes come true. And we complete it with amen because it already has been done. We just didn't recognize it before because we were dilly-dallying with the ego. We had the costume on that were separate, that were different, that were blah, blah, blah. Now, with conscious awareness, we get to accept that we are as God created us. We are accepting our part in the Great Awakening, and we're going to make this year different because we're going to make it all the same. We're going to be happy. We're going to be peaceful. We're going to be joyful. Now, this is not new age, positivity. We are happy and peaceful and joyful because we know that we don't have to choose suffering. We know that anything that is unloving, we don't have to participate in that. And when you take that level of responsibility, you literally take off the training wheels. Now you are the living Christ, the light of the world, the joy, the peace, the missing piece. And around your family, your friends, your environment, you get to be the one who recognizes, yep, God and I are one. I know I am the Christ. And then you move about your day. Nobody needs to be told that, but they will feel your presence because you'll be one that doesn't come around taking from them. You'll be one that is always extending. What a beautiful thing to unwrap this Christmas time, to own it and to shine it. It just doesn't get any better than this. So again, remember, we're not going to have an ascension with A Course in Miracles next week. This should last you for 2 weeks. And then we will come back together in the new year. It's going to be so much fun. If you want to join us in the Awareness Academy, I invite you to participate. The links will be inside of the descriptions of this video. And thank you to those of you who have chosen to be with me this year as we study A Course in Miracles together. And if you like these teachings, I got plenty of them on YouTube. The Awareness Academy has got different levels you can join depending on financially where you're at or how much you want to get from it. And there's always all kinds of free stuff. Oh, and next year we're going to start doing something called Shift and Lift. I'm going to teach once a month. We're going to have an event. Kathy, it's coming. I don't know how you ended up getting it before anybody else, but it is coming. So sign up for it again. But I just want to help people know that you can shift between ego and God quickly. You can do it fast and it will lift your vibration and it's going to put you in another whole different level. So more things coming. Anyways, unmute yourselves if you want to share anything. Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. I love you all. This is just like what a treat. I know some people have left some messages, but I haven't had time to read. No, if you don't unmute, that's okay. I'll see you next week then.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, sweetie. Love you.
Love you too. Mwah.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye.
Yes.
Oh,
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, sweetie. Thank you so much.
Hmm. Hmm.
Take care, everybody. Bye bye.
Say hello to your family, Laina.
Will do, honey.